All right, class, let's get going here. We've got our topic, Asian countries. For our world history class, essential question, how did the Asian countries differ in development during the Middle Ages? Now, the steppe people, we've talked about Genghis Khan. There were large nomadic groups, used the steppe. Clans of people ruled large areas, but were constantly fighting. This area, similar to Kansas or Nebraska, with large areas of fields where you could grow some crops, but mostly they were herders, and they had animals. The Mongols, during the late 1100s, the Mongols began to rise as a powerful nomadic eastern clan. Genghis Khan, or Temujin, as he was known as a youngster. Temujin was a young boy when his father was killed by a rival clan. Temujin seeks revenge. When older, unites the tribes, seeks revenge, and continues to conquer. Temujin gains the title of Khan, or great leader. So Genghis Khan, Khan is also another name for leader or ruler. Genghis Khan conquers the Turks, and then the Chinese, with 10,000 horsemen, learned about gunpowder and siege warfare from the Chinese. So every civilization that he conquered along the way, he would, take some of the warfare tactics that they had used and use them himself. Genghis dies in 1227, but the appointed rulers, mostly the sons of Genghis, continue to conquer Russia, Persia, and India. The Mongol Empire was the largest that the world ever knew, and we've talked about this in class. 1 in 200 men are related to Genghis Khan, and that's a pretty important fact there, noting how influential Genghis Khan was all the way across Asia. Now, the Chinese dynasties ruled hundreds of years at a time. The first dynasties date back to 2000 BC, which is 4,000 years ago. We talked about a few dynasties in class, the Tang Dynasty, Song Dynasty, and Yuan Dynasty. These were the ones that followed that. The Ming Dynasty in 1368 to 1664 followed the Yuan Dynasty. They were very organized society, so they were socially stable at the time. Beijing is the capital until 1644. The Qing Dynasty, or the Qing Dynasty, or the Manchu Dynasty, they were the last dynasty from 1644 until 1912. At that time, China was set into civil war, and it wasn't until in the 40s that China became a communist country. The Qing Dynasty came to its height in the 1700s. It expanded its borders during this time and integrated Chinese culture throughout the kingdom. In the late 1800s and the early 1900s, European powers just became too strong, too influential in China. They had weak leaders, and that led to the fall of the last dynasty. Now, talking about Southeast Asia, the Khmer would rule in Southeast Asia in the 800s, known for building the huge temple known as Angkor Wat. They practiced the Hindu religion. So we're talking about the areas that are present day, like Cambodia and somewhat into Vietnam, but mostly in Cambodia. Now, the Thai people in Thailand established a kingdom in 1238. The Thai people had wise rulers who encouraged education, even reading and writing. Prince Ramathibodi sets up a new capital in 1350 at the present capital site of Bangkok. So this was the beginning of the emergence of the Thai people that are a very strong population and country even today. Now, Japan. As an isolated island country, Japan creates many customs and traditions different from mainland Asia. They were very isolated when they were on the island. Remember, we talked in class, nobody ever conquered Japan in its entire history until World War II. The Mongols tried twice, but then the kamikaze typhoon came in and sunk the Mongols. All right, let's take a look at our last board pertaining to Japan. Japan had a dynasty-like traditions, similar, this should say China, similar to China. The Minamoto family began to rule in 1185. Minamoto started using an emperor and gave generals the name of shogun. The society in Japan is based off of a military government, so they're very militaristic in their customs and rituals. The samurai are powerful landowner warriors, and during this time, Buddhism had traveled to Japan and spread throughout Japan and was a dominant religion there. All right, take good notes. Remember, history's no mystery.